guys, Dylan A here, and we are back today for a brand new video. Now today we're going to be talking about movies. I think something that we all missed last year in 2020 was movies. Not only physically going to the theater, but also movies in general haven't been that great in 2020. So today we are going to be talking about a list of movies that were supposed to come out last year in 2020, but have been moved to this year. The first one is one that I am most excited about, which is called Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. Now, this movie was supposed to come out like late spring or summer 2020, but it has been moved to May 21st of this year. But basically, this movie is about a non-player character in a video game who eventually comes to his senses and realizes that he is in a game, and it just looks great. It's action-packed, comedy-filled. Of course, using the whole video game concept is just going to be really cool. It's also something really unique that I haven't seen any other films really tackle, so I can't wait for this movie. Next up is Black Widow, coming May 7th. So Marvel seems to be on a trend of giving backstories to these different superheroes, which I'm not complaining about. They're very entertaining. And Black Widow sounds like it will be pretty good. This one has a more like government and historical backstory where she was part of the KGB, where she trained to become a fighter. And apparently it also takes place in present day, where she's like a freelance operative, probably going on missions, you know, whenever someone recruits her, like they need some help, like, hey, I have Venom here, he's in my house, please, Black Widow, I need you to come and kill him for me. And then she'll be like, oh hey, I'll be there in a minute, just let me drive over in my Uber. Something like that. I'm sure that's some direct lines from the movie. I have insider knowledge. Be ready. The next one is Antlers, and this is another one I'm really excited about because it is a horror film, and we have not had great horror films in a long time, so Antlers seemed very, very promising. It was originally going to come out in the spring of last year, but it has been moved to February of this year, but they even got rid of that date, and now there is no current date set for when this movie is released, which is very upsetting, but we know it will probably come out sometime this year. The logline reads, "A mysterious creature escapes from its confines to wreak bloody havoc in a small Oregon town." So basically, this is kind of a monster type film, monster horror, but it has to do with winter. Obviously, antlers is kind of like a horned creature with antlers, kind of like a deer or some kind of bear, something like that. It looks really, really cool though, and I can't wait for it. Next up, we have The King's Man, which is coming out March 12th of this year. And basically, The King's Man is going to be a prequel to the first two Kingsman movies. It says, "One man must race against time to stop history's worst tyrants and criminal masterminds as they get together to plot a war that could wipe out millions of people and destroy humanity." So hopefully in this film we'll get to see the origins of the Kingsman Society, how it all started. Obviously with this huge war they're talking about, they had to create the society as a way to stop it, create a team powerful enough to be able to take down who's ever trying to start this war. And prequels are really interesting because, you know, a lot of movies start from the beginning and they build up as the movies go on, but I think this is one where a prequel could actually work because in the first film, obviously, the Kingsman Society is already established and it's already a thing, so talking about the origins of it, I think will really be good because that really wasn't touched upon in the first two films. Next up is A Quiet Place Part 2, coming April 23rd. This is another one I'm really excited about because this was a horror film. It wasn't a traditional horror. There weren't like typical serial killer or like spirits haunting anything. They were kind of more like alien type creatures, but you never really got to see them too well. But the whole idea was that people couldn't speak, you couldn't make any noise because that would alert the monsters, and then they would be able to find you. For the most part, it's like silent, and it relies just on their facial expressions, the music, the cinematography. Everything was really good about it. It made for a very creepy tone, and again, not many movies like that out there. I haven't seen anything like it, so it'll be interesting to see where a part 2 will go. It sounds like it'll be kind of a lot of the same type of thing, so I hope it's not too repetitive, but based on what's available about the movie, apparently the creatures that respond to sound are not the only creatures out there in the world. I don't know, but more creatures sounds pretty scary. Next up is Jungle Cruise, coming July 22nd. This one obviously stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and actually stars Emily Blunt, who also stars in A Quiet Place, which is pretty interesting. But this movie, obviously like a typical family-friendly, fun adventure. It's based on the Jungle Cruise ride that's actually in Disneyland. Apparently they have to journey down the Amazon to find this ancient tree that has the power of magical healing, and that'll like shape the way medicine is used in the movie. Sounds pretty good. It looks pretty good, looks comedic, family friendly, all that stuff. I'm sure it'll be a hit once it comes out. Next is Fast and Furious 9, or for short, they're just calling it F9. And it's Fast and Furious. It's the 9th one in the series. They're all pretty good. Probably going to be your standard action-packed cars, planes, any type of moving vehicle. They're going to do some crazy things, probably going to blow things up, probably going to fight some people, punches, shooting. You know, your typical Fast and Furious film, but I'm sure it'll be good. Next is Halloween Kills, coming October 15th. This one was obviously supposed to come out last Halloween, but it didn't. And this is the second one in the Trequel series, the trilogy. It's Halloween, Michael Myers. We know what he's gonna do. He's gonna stab, he's gonna stalk people, he's gonna, rip open the shower curtain and stab some people there. He's probably gonna walk down the streets at Halloween and terrorize people. We pretty much know what to expect, but basically the remake that they did in 2019 was actually really good, so I have high hopes for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. There are obviously probably a lot more films coming out than that, but those are the ones I am personally most excited about, so that's why I wanted to talk about them. If you have other ones that you're excited about, please leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I hope theaters get to be open fully, and people could go back and they could have fun and they could have their popcorn, because there's nothing like the experience of a real theater, in my opinion. Watching things on the computer is just not as good. You don't get the full experience, you don't get the full focus, especially for some of these like high action-packed films. Like, you really want to feel that action all around you, otherwise it's kind of just like the explosions are there. It's just like if you're in their house, right, it's just gonna be like just little explosion here, but if you see it in the theater, the explosion is like, and you can feel the vibration in your chair. You're like, oh, my phone just dropped, that's not good. I caused a real explosion. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. If you did, please leave a like, and if you're new, please subscribe. We will have more videos coming every week or so. And anyway, I will see you guys next time. I gotta pick up my phone. I don't think it cracks because it's a Samsung and they're pretty well built, unlike iPhones. Yeah, see, we're good. No cracks, nothing.